Michael, hey,
Yo.
what's going on?
Nothing much.
No,
Yeah, just nothing
I
much.
I don't know about you, but I'm actually very happy. I'm very just in general.
Yeah.
We're living in a post. I'm living in a post Let There Be Carnage world.
Yeah, that's
Like
true. New man.
it's been just way too long. I just want to say Australian releases they really suck sometimes because we get shit like months after the states.
Yeah.
So have you seen Let There Be Carnage? Because I actually don't think I've even asked you.
I haven't yet. I'll probably see it this weekend.
Okay,
But
good.
yeah.
I mean, our friendship's on the line. I'm just saying.
Sure.
But like, we finally get Dune today. It's just the beginning of December. I feel like
it is. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, yes. But we've been doing a lot of regular movies episodes. You know what? Even before I fucking say anything fucking else, I'm actually kind of upset with you, my friend.
Yeah.
You didn't fucking remind me to introduce the fucking show last episode. We had Andrew on. You didn't even get me to go, this is Trivia Flashback, the show where we go through matches and shit. I'm kind of upset, man.
I have no idea what you're referencing.
I'm not referencing anything. I'm just upset because I didn't even get to tell. I didn't even say what the show was.
I honestly don't remember you doing that.
I was having all these I was banting. I was having all these tangents, and you didn't even say, "Hey, you should probably introduce the show." And I didn't.
Yeah,
so I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you for forgetting. Is what I'm saying. Anyway, but this is Trivia Flashback, where we go over matches.
Yeah,
I think people.
I'm so upset. I didn't remind you to do that. Yeah.
You didn't. But this is episode 10. We've reached the anniversary. This is not an anniversary. We've reached 10, which is pretty good.
Been doing this for a decade. So
yeah, absolutely. But we've been doing a lot of regular trivia, movie trivia. We need to get back into doing geek fandom, that sort of stuff. So we've thought, let's talk to one guy who has a legacy in fandom fights, in Full Metal Geek, in all these geek divisions, and has maybe won a belt or two. He is the 2020 most improved fandom player. He is the 2019 Fandom Fights Rookie Team of the Year, along with
just him.
Yeah, just him. He's right. He is the former Fandom Fights Teams and Singles Champion, aka Tommy Two Belts. That I wish that got started. But most importantly, he is the 2019 Sports Player of the Year, and he's still the reigning champion. He's not lost his belt. It's Mr. Thomas Scully.
Because the division died.
Yes, but you still have that belt.
And he beat me on the way to that title match.
Hell fucking yeah.
Hell yeah.
And we played that match at like 8:30 in the morning my time, which was
it was
so much fun.
It was legit like 3:00 a.m.
That's a rarity for Michael doing that.
Yeah.
Usually we're morning people. We're like, yeah, we'll get up at 8 or 9, have a match, but no.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Hey,
trivia for breakfast.
Welcome, Thomas.
Eating these W's.
I mean, yeah. But hey, Thomas, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah. This is a really, really fun show. You guys do a lot of great work here. I'm excited to take a bit of a deep dive into one of my matches because the one that we chose to cover today, there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot of memorable moments, a lot of twists and turns, and an infamous lapse in judgment that led to the final outcome.
That one oof of the year, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll get into that when we get into the match. But yes, we are of course going to be talking about Rizzi versus Scully 2, the championship title match that happened last year. I think right before the tournament. But before we get into that match, we got to talk about something that I love to talk about. Maybe my favorite word in the entire universe, and that is context, my friends. So I guess what I want to start off was, like, how did you kind of this? Because you were kind of a player that came in. I don't know what generation it was, but you kind of came in around beginning of 2019.
Yeah, like around March of 2019 was when my first match with Bowman was set up.
I had just known you as a guy on the Showdown page, like Bud the Lion, you're a big Mike fan, and so
Yeah.
I don't like us three had always sort of crossed paths, like never really like talked or anything. I just knew.
Yeah.
I'd always see you. I think you'd always see
recognize you
us.
two. I recognize you two, Brooklyn, and then a couple of others on that, like on those pages. So I knew right away, this is be a fun group, fun community to be with, because these guys are always giving out nice comments. Not one of those super troll, those troll like fans who just exist to be a pain in
There's
the
only
ass.
one or two of them. But I guess so you discover the community through the Schmoedown in the page, and I'm sure Harloff had put a post out like when Smets had debuted, like, hey, this is where he joined and this is where he started.
I don't think it was that. I think it was like a comment that I want to say it was Brooklyn who put a comment on one of the posts, and he DM'd me after I requested to join and says, hey, thanks for joining. Be patient. We'll try to get you a match at some point in like the springtime or whatever. And this was like in February. So I'm like, great. I'll just, be patient and wait.
So back and relax. That's what every person who joins the community has to do, is that waiting period, which we all know about. But it's actually gotten pretty good in recent years, I will say, like the waiting period. But so then you play. So your first match or just anything ever in the community was against Bowman in fandom?
Yeah, it was against Bowman. I think we played it. I want to say it was either on St. Patrick's Day or like the day before St. Patrick's Day, because like it was
the day
on like
before St. Patrick's Day is my birthday, so that's kind of
nice.
interesting.
It was either a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, and like I was sweating bullets. I was nervous because like in the page they were like there was like a poll that went up. I was like, who of the Phantom rookies is going to make the biggest splash? And Bowman got like 80% of the votes. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to get crushed because this dude knows everything. And then we played the match, and I was up at round 1. Round 2 is the opposite. And then round 3, I just brought home.
Yeah,
I did just go and fact check, and March 16th was a Saturday, and March 17th was a Sunday. So good remembering. In 2019. So hell yeah.
Let's interlude.
But anyway, go ahead, Jake. What you say?
So I guess, and that's is that how did you kind of like talk with Bowman? Because I assume that's where that's Mischief Managed kind of started from. We're gonna have a.
Can you guys hold on for 1 second?
Yeah, we're good. We can chat. So so how you been? Yeah,
So my Spotify top 5 was Soundgarden, Alice in Chains.
No, it was
Alanis Morissette.
It was Oasis. It was Oasis.
That's what it was. I can remember what number 2 was. Yeah, Oasis, Alice in Chains, Alanis Morissette, and then Stone Temple Pilots rounded out the top 5.
STP.
I was in the top 0.01% of Soundgarden fans, which I was really happy about.
That's insane.
So yeah,
I think I was 0.05% of Madonna fans.
Okay,
and I was which was the same as last year when Morissette was number 1 for me.
Yeah, okay.
But like which I thought that was pretty good, like that. And I think it was like 83% of. I listened to more than like 83% of all Australians.
Yeah, mine was more than 97% of all Australians.
Wow, that's crazy.
So and then so that was pretty fun. The top 100 songs is just basically like my top 5 artists, but like longer albums type of thing. It's like
All right, sorry guys, I'm back. Just
okay. So you were just talking about continuing our Spotify rap.
Really enjoying our conversation, so we'll just continue with that. So Jake, the top 5. No, I'm kidding.
So I guess Mischief Managed started from that. That was the beginning, the inception.
Yeah, after we played, Bowman he messages me. He's like, "Hey man, you are unbelievably good at geek stuff, and I'm more so the fringe players, the Disneys and the DreamWorks and the Pixars."
You sent me the same message.
And he's like, you know what? I think it'd be really great if we became a team. I think it'd be a really scary team. And it was just born from there. And like 3 days later, I think it was like 3 or 4 days later, we had like a green room for a teams match set up. So like the ball was rolling just immediately.
Yeah. Well, you're in it now. You can't get out.
So then after your win against Bowman, that gets you into the tournament, right? Were you
No, actually, I played former competitor James White in a match.
Yes.
That was that was a little that was interesting because it was kind of the same scenario. I was up big out of round one, and then James got a really good strength in round two, ran it. I went it, and then I went and gave up like some just stupid steals, and then round three it was like Rocky and Jurassic Park and Fast and Furious and the stuff that I just did not want to commit myself to. So yeah, and then after that it was the tournament.
Yeah, so you were 1-1 going into the tournament. I think you were what, the 30?
No, I was the
You were
16. I
you were
was
the
the
16.
16.
Oh, okay. And you didn't you? Who did you play in the first round?
Henry. I played Henry.
Henry. You played Henry?
Oh,
I always thought Albert played Henry.
Albert played
Wow.
Henry in the 1-0 match. I played Henry
Okay.
in the tournament.
All right. Yes, and you won that match. We know that for a fact.
Yeah.
But then round two is Rizzi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that was
Man.
kind of the ultimate like pressure's off. This is the number one seed. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. It was like we both had awful round ones, and then we both get our strengths. So it's like again a dead heat after round two, and then like the first question of round three is like a Marvel question, and that I just whiffed on. He hit it, and then that was pretty much it. Because then it plays out like the match with James White. You had like Rocky and Jurassic Park all coming into play, and I'm like, no, these are not the categories I need.
But then are you done for that season in
No,
singles?
because then what happened was I played Richard Schwartz in like October or November,
Oh yeah.
as like I think that was to get into the gauntlet, maybe. Yeah, I think that's
The
right.
gauntlet? Oh,
Yeah, the gauntlet at the
oh
beginning of
yes, at the
2020.
that
beginning
Rizzi
of
won. Yeah.
the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you play in the gauntlet. From memory, you do well. Don't you make it to the end?
Yeah, I was like the third person in. It was like
Yeah, because I know Nick was in early, and then you
because
guys were last.
and that was the first time Tuig and I faced off was in that gauntlet, and he was up by he was up by like 5 on me at one point, and then I tied it on the last question, and then we went into sudden death.
And I remember there was like a thing where you couldn't do a repeats, right? And I think that sort of like stuffed him up on one question, which was ended up being huge or something like that.
I know, yeah, that was wild. And then I went all the way until the last round with Rizzi.
Yeah.
And actually, something really interesting about that is, I think it was RJ who was late to coming in, so we had to stop for a good like 20 to 25 minutes, I think, before the last two rounds. And at that point, I was like on a roll, and then we stopped, and then I got cold, and then that's what did me in. So it was wild because that last round I could not think straight because we had been going, and then we stopped, then we went again, and I'm like, I've been at this for 2 hours. This is absurd.
Yeah, it's like free for all sort of fatigue where you're just in it for too long, and then like after a certain moment, it's just like, yeah, I think I'm done.
I mean, that happened to me in the free for all this year. I missed like the easiest Planet of the Apes questions in the history of Planet of the Apes questions because I've been in there for 10 rounds already.
Yeah, I mean, it just sometimes it just happens like that where your brain just melts. But then is your first match? I guess your first official match last year was against Tuig, right?
It was against Tuig, and that was like
Tuig wins against.
He beats
KO'd someone.
He beat Jacoby.
He beat Jacoby. He didn't KO Jacoby, but he beat Jacoby, and the winner of that played you, and you played perfect. And to this day,
nuts.
To this day, the only person to have beaten Tuig.
Well, it's crazy because that whole day I was actually at the Chicago Comic-Con for most of the day. So because I was doing because I was part of my college Quidditch team when I was in college, so we were doing like an event there at the Comic-Con, and the match was at like 5 or something, and like 3 o'clock I'm on the train like just cramming, like going through the notes like rapidly like on the train. I get home in like an hour, like in a half hour before the match, and I'm like, I'm a mess. And then we play, and it's still one of the craziest things I've ever experienced.
Is that top 3 favorite matches?
Oh yeah, probably because I think it's just such a good match. Like it's not until the second to last question of the match where it actually swings in somebody's favor
Mm-hmm.
because it's pretty
And
much a
also,
dead heat up until then.
and I assume you didn't even feel like you had the victory after round 1 or 2, whereas it's like Tua could just come
No,
back at any second. I
because
think
I
that's
would
why
because
round
like
3 is so
I had the
scary
perfect
for Tua
round,
fandom.
but he only missed 2, so we're up by 3. But then he goes perfect. I go 8 for 10 in Marvel, um, and and then I'm only up by 1. And then we go 2 questions deep. Third question, and third and fourth question, I both hit, and he misses. So the score is a lot bigger than the margin you would think. Than the match would have you tell. But it's a little misleading.
If there was any match you were going to beat Tui in, it was going to be that one because he just gave up those he missed those questions and it just that gave you the chance to get the
Well, yeah, I
victory.
mean,
And
like
the fact that you played perfect, it's just like
I was stunned because like the last question of the match was MCU, and he just had a brain fart. And I'm like, oh shit.
yeah, like, and that gets you into a number 1 contenders match where you play RJ. And I remember watching this match live when it happened, but it was a weird opponent's choice situation because you both land opponent's choice, and he just gives you the wrong category to
Yeah,
give you, and you.
that's a definition of game plan gone perfectly because Koho and I were talking before, and we're like, all right, he gets opponent's choice. We stick him with Oscars, we can get the steals, and then with Oscars out of the way, there's nothing he can give us that's going to hurt me that much.
Yeah, and that turned out to be the case because you knock him out, and then you are now playing Rizzi, who wins the gauntlet, plays Tim, beats Tim, is the fandom champion.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess what was kind of your mindset going into this match? Because this is your first title match in singles.
Yeah.
You won. You were at the time you were the team's champion.
Going into the match, I felt confident because I already been in a title match before with Boatman with Mischief Managed. And look, I have to remember at this time we were all in quarantine, so quarantine had just kicked in, so I had nothing but time to watch movies. When I was not in virtual classes, so it was. I mean, I felt pretty confident, um, and actually for a while, so the match was supposed to start. I think at like what time was it? Supposed to be like 8 o'clock EST. Rizzi doesn't show up until 8:40 EST because he was recording a podcast and he forgot what time it was. So we were about 5 to 10 minutes away.
You can tell he was just doing a podcast in this match. So that there's something literally blocking his fucking view. But anyway.
It was nuts because again, it's one of those things like the Gauntlet. I was so pumped up, full of adrenaline, ready to go, and then 45 minutes go by before we even start. So
yeah, we've all been in that situation where it's like
you're
just like checking your watch, and it's just so because you can't like leave and just be like, all right, just message me when he comes in. I'll go hop on the couch. It's like you can't do that. You have to like sit
just
there
wait.
with them, and it's just so fucking like tense. These like hands start to shake a bit because it's like.
I mean, everyone was getting annoyed, and Koho was like, does this mean he forfeits or whatever? And I'm like, I don't want to win like that. And then he finally shows up, and we just go right into it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think what's interesting about that match is that it's basically 2 polar opposite players. You're like one of the most dedicated fandom players, the amount of studying and the attention to detail that you put into it. While Rizzi is just like, I'm just going to show up and play. And to Rizzi's credit, he does have a lot of knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
Former singles champ, like, he is an impressive player. But the fact that he does nothing is just insane to me.
Well, it's crazy because
you are just so dedicated.
Yeah, I mean, and this was before I started making extensive study notes, so I was still kind of fresh and just kind of trying to
you had a
create a whole like study regimen of trying to watch things. So I was just watching stuff on the fly, just trying to prep myself. I just kind of was just flying by the seat of my pants for the longest time.
So was there a moment, I guess this is a little backtracking, but was there a moment where you realized that if I'm going to be a legit fandom player, I have to put in the work to like study and watch these movies? Was there like a match?
I think it was it was probably first time that hit was after the gauntlet. I just needed like that extra little bit of knowledge and structure to just round out the game a bit. And then that was compounded 6 months later when Tuig knocks me out. Because at that point, I'm like, all right, this is not working. I need to revamp what I'm doing. I got to do something completely different.
So with that, I think we should get into the match. Good 20 minutes of context and introduction. Let's get into this, shall we? Let's see. What I gotta ask, when's the last time you watched this match?
Honestly, probably about it's been over a year. I usually don't go back to my matches all that much, unless I'm playing somebody I played before and I forget how they do in a certain category. But I rarely go back and watch my own matches because I hate hearing myself talk. I hate it.
Yeah, darn it. I think most of us hate hearing how shitty the audio quality is for all of us. But I tend to go back every now and then and just like if it's a match that makes me feel good or something like that. But no, it's definitely sometimes gonna be just like, I'll just leave this for everyone to watch. But anyway, let's get into it.
I have to say, Eli, you shaved your head. And I got my mic in front of me. Hopefully it's not obscuring my mouth so much.
That's also like, you can tell he was recording a fucking
podcast. But we're back. We have our first title match since the match that everyone was expecting me to lose. And now I'm up against Tom.
He's not wrong.
I muted my computer because I did not want to hear what he was going to say.
Look, we trained really hard. We made sure that we knew what you knew. We made sure that for this match, you're going to be ready to defend your title. And trust me, I believe in you. Probably a lot of people don't believe in you, but I believe in you. And for you, that's all that should matter. All that should matter is you answering questions, me believing in you, and you making sure that you keep that title at the end of the day. You know what? Let's stop talking. Let's move on to the match. Let's go.
I agree with that.
Playing trivia, having fun. Let's do this.
All right, Scully. Well, I was gonna be nice in this promo, but
so
then our
this
opponent
house?
didn't even give us the common courtesy.
No,
this was my college dorm that I was stuck in during quarantine.
Shit about this title. We've literally been sitting here for no
Chicago?
Exaggeration.
Yeah. This is in
Everything
Chicago.
comes back to 47. But look, we worked really hard to be here, and we finally got here. This was the goal all season. It's the big dance. Let's do it. We know what we're gonna do, and Rizzi obviously doesn't want his title. Let's go take it from him.
I agree. Yeah, this is what I've been working for a little over a year now. But I feel more ready than I've ever been. Been a little stressed recently because it's finals week, it's final season.
Oh yeah,
you know what?
Yeah. This was in the middle of finals week for me. Middle of finals week right here.
Wow. So I'm ready.
I played this match and then took 2 finals, and then 3 days later played Knights of Ren for the team's titles.
All right,
Nick, what a crazy week.
Promos, words were said, things happened. I don't want to comment on any of it. Nick, how do you feel about them?
The only thing I have to say is, Scully, you are a better man than I. Instead of writing my final paper, I've seen the Lego Batman movie 18 times.
That's fair.
So that's how he KO'd me.
Into the match, round number 1.
So let the Lego Batman movie.
There are going to be 10 random questions from 10 random categories in the realm of fandom fights. Each question is worth 1 point apiece. You guys have 3 repeats and a challenge rule. If anybody gets a perfect round 1, meaning all 10 questions correct, you will get a bonus question. Gentlemen, do you have any questions as we get into round number 1 of this 5-round title match?
Nope. Let's do it.
All right. Question number 1 is going to be in the category of Jurassic Park. In Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, what type of dinosaur does Wheatley take a tooth from right before leaving the island?
I hate these kinds. These are my least favorite kinds of questions. Are like the what kind of dinosaur questions?
What kind of dinosaur?
You're not Ross
What kind of
Geller.
car?
That's one of my favorite tricks.
We've established you're not Ross Geller, so
That match was just stupid.
and Scully.
I said T-Rex.
Stegosaurus is correct. So Dom takes the early 1 point lead there. Nick, give him the next question.
What the
Your
fuck
next
you took
question
shit from a
in the category of
Stegosaurus?
DC.
T-Rex.
Stupid.
In Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, what does Superman trap Nuclear Man in before bringing him to the moon?
When the moon hits your eye, it's a something pizza pie.
That's
Something,
the
Dom dropping 4. 5,
Really planned.
4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll start with Scully.
I believe it's an elevator.
And Dom,
Holy shit, elevator.
you are both correct.
Did you just guess elevator?
All right, we'll get into the next
I swear
question.
he does this all the
Category
time.
Star
It's so
Trek.
annoying.
Yeah.
Where do the secret peace negotiations occur in the undiscovered country?
Sorry, I'm writing that paper I was talking about.
Oh, that's fair. You need to. You need to get on that, sir.
All right.
This is when I had the really big board and I was at an angle where I couldn't like fully have it up. So I'm just
Was
like
it kind of
doing
just on a side?
Down.
Like,
We
Kind
will
of,
start
yeah.
with Dom.
I put Earth.
Scully.
I said Delta 4.
That is incorrect. The answer we have here is Camp Kittimer.
Okay.
and this was before I binged Star Trek relentlessly to cure the Star Trek weakness.
Category of Star Wars.
yeah, I remember studying for
In
Star
The
Trek
Last
last
Jedi,
year. And
Who plays the
sucked.
master codebreaker that Finn and Rose are looking for on Canto Bight?
I mean, I'll never forget anyone who's in either Charlie's Angels movies. So of course they're gonna know it's
fair.
Justin Thoreau.
You know, the one thing I heard after this
It's
movie
also
came
just
out
a
was
weird
I
scene
wanted
for
more
him to be
Canto
in.
Bight. That's all I heard
Firestarter.
today.
Firestarter.
2, 1.
That's the
Pens
song I plays,
down.
right?
We'll start with Scully.
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah.
actual scene.
That is correct, and Dom.
Fuck, I was thinking of the wrong person. I put Del Toro.
I was gonna say.
All
yeah,
right,
that makes-
so we tie it up 2-2 as we get into the next.
That's a
category,
weird miss,
the
though.
category of scores and soundtracks.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah.
Who composed the score for 2003's Hulk?
Hell, fucking yeah.
Um,
What's your opinions on
you
Hulk?
could also say who
Scully.
composed the score.
Hate it.
for-
Absolutely hate it.
Damn it.
Bottom 5 worst Marvel films.
Oh,
That fucking hurts, man.
It's just so boring and just
One, pens down,
so
we'll start with
bad.
Dom.
Danny Elfman?
That is correct, and Scully.
Danny Elfman.
He was the
All
guy
right,
making the
we'll get to
superhero
that one.
spawns for a bit.
Right. 3-3. Your next question in the category of Wizarding World. In the Chamber of Secrets, what spell does Lockhart use that backfires on himself while in the chamber? Did you know that Caleb Coho's favorite Wizarding World film is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them?
I have heard that from people. I heard that he saw Chamber, but then he saw Fantastic Beasts and was like, that movie's far superior. Yeah. He's a crazy man. That Coho.
Oh my god. I mean, I love Cohen. It was his
I've heard
birthday
that
not
too.
long ago, but
2,
he has some.
1.
I've been
What's
trying to
it
get
like
him to
with-
binge. I've been trying to get him
what's
to
it like with
binge the
Cohen?
Harry Potter films for
Oblivion.
months now.
All right.
Get
we'll
him to
keep it
binge.
pace as we get into the
Get him
next
to binge
question.
all of them for months, and he just won't do it.
Look, those new Max Landis movies are
What
going to watch
Middle
themselves. So
Earth
someone's going to do that. Too.
That's
Forests
fair.
will
But
fall. A new order will
what's it
rise.
like with Cohen as
We
a
will
manager?
drive
Like,
the
what's his
machine
sort
of
of
war with the sword.
how much
and the
prep is there with
spear
him?
and
Does
the
like
iron
every
fist.
instinct in your body just tell you to just go the other direction? He tells you to go in it. Oh, no.
I
He tells you to
recently
bet 2 and you
watched
bet
these
1 or
films.
something like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
No, they're great.
Yeah.
5, 4,
That was a
3,
question, Scully. Like,
2,
is he actually
1.
like?
Pens down. We will start with Dom.
Like, yeah, I'm more curious. Like, how is he as a
And
manager?
Bully.
He's great. I mean, he's
Both actually incorrect. We were looking for the Riders of Brohan. No, I'm just kidding. You're both correct. It is the Two Towers.
It actually had me there for a second. I was like, okay, come on.
well, yeah, no, but he's a great manager, and like pumping you up, making you feel confident in what you know. And like he and I have just developed this like non-verbal method of communication, whereas like if it's bet 2, we're just like
In Planet of the Apes,
bet 2.
what type of ape serves as the
As in literally, as in he used to like rub his chin as if
anyone in the
it wasn't
military?
super obvious what
Yeah.
that meant.
No, as I'm
That was-
like
that was
I'll just like
fun.
nod and be like, and he'll
I
be
have a
like,
friend who was in the
and then
Marines.
they'll be
Or he's still
That's
in,
it.
he's
I
not.
remember
in
one time there's a
active
match
anymore,
where
and I have also
Caleb is
a
like
friend in the Navy.
managing another Kingsman, and
That's
he goes
no-
like as if
What
to
do you
like
say?
sing or something. That it like
Hands
I
down.
don't know, that just
We'll
cracked me
start with Scully
Gorilla.
and Dom.
Gorilla.
Both correct. All right, keeping pace with each other as we get into your next category, which is the category of DreamWorks. In Rise of the Guardians, what 2 words are tattooed on Santa's arms?
I mean, this is kind of a
One
fun
might call
question.
him jolly old Saint.
this is a really fun question.
One might.
It's naughty and nice,
They call
right?
him Sourpuss obnoxious.
Jeez. Oh.
I'm also dead.
Yeah, DreamWorks was like I think the last category of the main fringe ones that I really rounded out. So I was going off of background knowledge for so long.
Okay, we'll start with
So
Dom
what, how
Naughty and nice.
and Scully,
I also had naughty and nice.
and you both would be correct.
So did you consider
All
yourself
right.
more
Yeah,
geek
that
than
makes sense.
fringe? Like not
All
even
right,
with like
gentlemen,
DreamWorks
your
or
Ultimate
because
question.
I always just imagined that you
In the
grew up
category
with
of
those
Disney
sort of
animation,
movies in the 2000s. Like
What
Well, like
frequent
I can
fandom composer
definitely like
cameos as the voice of
I definitely
FF
remember stuff from them from like when I watched them as a
in
kid.
Ralph Breaks the
But like
Internet?
the ones I just did not get to as a kid, like the Antses and the Shark Tales and the
Zero.
the Rise of the Guardians. Like I need to watch them a couple times to really
Yeah, that goes.
familiarize myself with everything.
That
So like
song
you
is
didn't
in
really
that
watch
movie.
those
Oh.
as a kid.
No, it was mainly short. It was mainly like the Shreks, Over the Hedge, B movie, and a few
We'll
others.
start with Scully
It's an Alan Silvestri.
and Dom.
I put Michael Giacchino.
Michael Giacchino is correct. That's what we were looking for. So at the end of round number 1, Dom takes the 1-point lead, 8-7. Both fantastic round ones for both of these competitors.
Good job, Tom.
We will move into round number 2, which is going to work like this. There is it's the lovely wheel round, and there are going to be 10 categories on the wheel because Spinners and Opponent's Choice was requested to not be on the wheel tonight. So there are 10.
That's an interesting choice by Rizzi. Like I would imagine he would just like, fuck it, the Spinners and Opponent's Choice.
Unless you go to multiple choice, then it devalues it.
I just think he doesn't care.
1.
Yeah.
That
becomes very clear later on.
Dom, you are in the lead, so do you want to go first or second on your spin?
Eli, what do you think? We got a 1-point lead.
I'd say you go second.
All right, I'll go second.
Okay, so we will bring in.
That was a
Caleb
tough decision
Coho,
by Rizzi to go
manager
second.
for Mr. Scully.
Okay.
And we will spin that wheel, as they say. Can we see the wheel?
Yes.
Okay, again, the categories are Oscars, Middle Earth, Bond, Rocky, Disney live action, Star Wars, Apes, Scores and Soundtracks, Star Trek.
So how'd you feel about the categories?
So Scully, this will be your spin.
I actually felt
And
really
it lands
good.
on Oscars. You want to keep that or spin again?
I just
I kind of like it, but that's
we
your call.
chose Oscars because
I know
we
we
had
went
just
through basically everything.
we just ran through
Yeah,
everything like before the
feel like
match,
because we went through
and it
all
was
of
kind
it,
of hey,
it would feel pretty silly not to take it, so
let's
I
just
think
hope
we
it
should go for
sticks, like
Go for it,
the
then.
studying stuck.
Go for it.
So
And it didn't all work out.
keep Oscars.
So
I
that
will
was
ask you
a
your question
note for the
in
future.
Oscars. Thomas, are you ready?
I am.
Okay, your first question in Oscars. What actor was nominated for their performance in A History of Violence?
William Hurt.
That is correct for 2 points. All right, your next question. This is a bit of a wordy one, so I will try to explain it as best as possible. What was the last
So
year
Nick wrote.
that a film from the MCU was not nominated for visual effects? And you can tell me the year that it was released.
I hate two-way
Or
questions
the year of the series.
like this. I love the guy to
The
death.
last year, an
But
MCU
these
film was
questions are just so
released
infuriating.
that was not nominated for visual effects. So is that 2015?
Ultron would have had to go, right?
No, Ultron was not nominated.
Okay.
We got a question like that in the not no spoilers, but
2009.
the 50-50.
That is unfortunately
fandom
incorrect.
Warzone,
Dom,
yeah.
chance for the
Game of
2
Factions
It
match.
was 2015 for the Academy Award ceremony of 2016. Final answer.
They just said the fucking year. They just say the fucking year.
There.
That's it.
As we get into Dom,
What the fuck is that?
into Scully's third question.
I love it.
And I thought about 2015, but I'm like, wait a minute, Ant-Man had to have been nominated.
What did you
Yeah,
say?
I said 2009,
Okay.
like a dumbass.
Just do it, yeah.
Friend like me.
That is correct for 2 points. Your fourth question, as my wife curses to her video game. Your fourth question. How many Oscars was Bedknobs and Broomsticks nominated for?
Yikes.
I couldn't even tell you that one. Because the worst thing about these type of questions is like, it's like you can't go for the 2-pointer. You kind of have to.
Yeah, you're kind of boxed in.
Repeat the question.
All right, that is your first repeat. How many Oscars was Bedknobs and Broomsticks nominated for?
Because it's like, well, it's not Best Picture, Directors. Like, it's not these big Oscars. It's like the technical.
It's
stuff,
like 3, 4.
Incorrect. Dom, chance for the 2-point steal.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Thomas
say
went for it anyway.
3. Final answer.
That is incorrect as well. We were looking for 5.
5. It's 5. I was between 4 and 5, and I was like, was one of them honorary? Was one of them not honorary? I couldn't fucking remember.
At the 2006 ceremony for films released in 2005, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe beat what other fandom film for the Best Makeup Oscar?
2005.
Yeah.
Makeup.
Harry Potter. No.
Oh man.
Right, multiple choice options are A, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, B, Batman Begins, C, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, or D, Constantine.
A.
That is correct for 1 point.
It's one of those.
Songs, but I didn't
at
think
the
it.
end of Scully's spin, he's gotten his total up to 12, but Dom with a steal there has his total up to 10. So we will bring in
And that kind of started a trend of me just
Eli
being really, really risky with my round 2 play, and it's bit me in the ass more than once.
All right, Dom, this is your spin.
Trust me, it's bitten me in the ass as well.
Yeah,
but it's especially in a championship match. It's like you feel like you
spinning again.
Any chance, even,
and it lands
a
on
little bit confident.
Disney live action.
Sometimes just go for it.
Remember, Dom, if you don't know it, multiple choice.
Got it.
He's in a title match. He needs to be told.
This is like showdown level managing. It's like, remember, don't forget you have 3 repeats.
Dom, are you ready for your questions in the category of Disney live action?
I am.
All right, your first question. Which Disney live action film features the characters Mrs. Who, Mrs. Witch, and Mrs. What's-It?
That would be A Wrinkle in Time. Final answer.
That's correct. 2 points.
he does the final answer even though it's
I love
sentence, and I love it. I love it.
You know what? With
What
Rizzi,
major
I'm
league
okay with that.
team does Jimmy Morris get drafted onto in The Rookie?
Multiple choice.
Your multiple choice options are A, the Texas Rangers, B, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, C, the Houston Astros, or D, the Seattle Mariners.
It's Tampa, right?
This question is technically incorrect because he's not drafted, he's just signed by them. He was originally drafted by the Brewers, which is not a multiple choice option.
B, final answer.
That was B as in boy?
Yes.
B is correct for 1 point. Your third question.
Tampa.
In the movie Holes, what are the deadly animals that are present at Camp Green Lake whose bite kills you almost instantly?
The lizards, right?
I'll know it on multiple choice.
Your multiple choice options are A, red spotted snakes, B, orange spotted lizards, C, yellow spotted lizards, or D, green spotted snakes.
Yellow spotted lizards. Final answer.
Did they specify that it had to be specific?
No, they didn't. So you could have just said lizards and it would have been
Who
fine.
directed The Sorcerer's
That's
Apprentice?
interesting.
John Turtletop. Final answer.
Correct for 2 more points. And on to your last question. Dom, who plays Jack Frost in Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause?
Martin Short. Final answer.
For 2 more.
And then
I
Thomas
was
is just miserable here.
I was pretty livid.
Yes,
I was
so at
pretty
the
livid.
End of round number 2.
I'm like, are
Rizzi has
you
gotten his
fucking
total
kidding me?
up
He gets
to
Martin
Yeah.
Short and John
yeah.
Turtletop, and I get bed knobs and broomsticks.
Scully behind with 12. But we are now going to get into round number
So
3.
it's a
which
6
is going
point
to work
deficit.
like this. It is the
Yeah.
filmography
And if you
round.
spent a game,
This
you
has
would
changed
have
a
landed
little bit since
on
the last
scores and
time we,
soundtracks.
Which I
done
probably
this,
would have
but
kept
we're going to give
because
you each
yeah.
2 clues to a actor or actress. You are then going to have to tell us who that actor or actress is based on those.
This is still when it
clues.
was 2, 3, and
Instead
5.
of the
It would
questions
Yeah.
being worth
massive
2 points,
swings.
3 points, and 5 points, they are now worth
incredibly
1,
massive
2,
swing.
and 3 points. Obviously getting harder in difficulty as we go up. So Dom, you are in the lead. Do you want your questions from set 1 or set 2?
I want them from set 2.
Okay, so Scully, because you are behind, we will give you your questions first in set 1. Are you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Who plays an MCU scientist and a Worlds of DC newspaper editor-in-chief?
Lawrence Fishburne.
That is correct for 1 point.
Actually, no, it's 1, 2, 3 actually in this one.
2 points.
Okay.
Who plays a Jurassic Park
They
survivor
just hadn't updated
and a
that.
Star Wars vice admiral?
Just gotta put it down.
Yeah, I'm so mad I missed this one.
Oh,
Because
I
I
was
just-
honestly just completely blanking on it.
I straight up refused to study Jurassic Park until late 2019.
Oh shit.
Richard E. Grant.
Incorrect. We were looking for Laura Dern. All right, Scully, and your 3-pointer. Who plays a DC detective and a Pixar musician?
Benny Bratt.
Yeah.
Could have said DC athlete, basketball player, but
Repeat the question.
All right, there's your second repeat. Who plays a DC detective and a Pixar musician?
Benjamin Bratt.
That is correct for 3 points.
He has some
So at the
mad
end of
basketball
Scully's
skills.
filmography, he's gotten his total up to 16
Cut there,
points. We will
something
now
happened.
move over to Rizzi. For
Actually,
his,
I don't remember what we
Nick,
cut
so you
for.
give Rizzi his questions.
I certainly
Might
will.
just
I can imagine
Dom,
Eli tried to challenge
So
or
for
something.
your
Just something
one-pointer,
stupid.
who
I don't
plays a
think it was
DC
that.
animated hero and a DreamWorks monster.
you say DC or DC hero?
He said DC
Seth
DC
Rogen?
animated hero.
That is incorrect. We were looking for Will Arnett.
Ah, shit. Okay, yeah. All right.
I mean, he was
All right,
close
your
as he could
2-point
have been,
question.
I guess.
Who plays a Wizarding World witch and a Disney live-action villain?
Is that bottom Carter? For Red Queen.
Yeah.
What was the
Repeat.
Disney live action?
All right, repeat
Alice
the
in
question.
Wonderland.
Who plays a Wizarding World witch and a Disney live-action villain?
Villain. I thought this.
Oh, Julie Walters.
That is incorrect. We have Helena Bonham Carter.
What? I mean,
You know,
I love
yeah,
that he's.
all right, that's fine.
I'm gonna think about challenging. I love the fact that he's like, oh yeah, Julie Walters played a fucking witch
Who
and a
plays
villain.
a Star Trek doctor and a Marvel agent?
Oh man.
Simon Pegg.
That is incorrect. We were looking for Alice Eve.
Okay, that's fine.
A Marvel
All
agent.
right, so at the end of round number 3,
What am I
a bit of a
forgetting?
lackluster.
So now
one,
you're
nonetheless,
like,
we got through it. Scully has his points up to 16. Dom is still in the lead with 18.
What? Maybe I'm forgetting Alice Eve is a
As
Marvel
we get
agent.
into round number 4, this is the new and improved deep
Am I
cut
crazy?
round. The way that this is going to
I can't-
work
oh,
is there
fuck.
are
Okay, it's from 2012. I'll say it's from 2012.
Each slice has a category that our competitors
Marvel movie from
drafted.
2012.
They each drafted 5 categories to put on the wheel. They do not know what movies these categories.
You say before every time you use Marvel, you need to rewatch these movies.
It's Men in Black 3.
They will get 5 questions deep cut from whatever movie is.
This is when this is before they changed the rules, right? Or they just the first match.
Has 1 repeat.
So the Tim Rizzi match that was like we should change round 4, and this is the first title match to.
Or is this still the old rules?
No, this is still the old rules.
You can't choose
old rules, but it's not one movie. It's not different movies.
No.
It's one movie.
Everyone can see the wheel,
right?
No, sorry.
Okay, so the categories on the deep cut wheel tonight.
So, is this match using the format you guys use now, where you're drafting categories?
No.
The movies. Yeah. So this is still. You have no idea what the movie is. Essentially.
No, but you got to pick one movie from a particular category.
Yeah.
To use one movie that you know is on the wheel.
Okay, so it must have been after this match where they decided that it will be split.
Our Wizarding World.
I can't remember when the change was put into effect.
About that
it might have been after the Scully Tuig match. Because
Disney live action.
If that once that
Disney
ended in a KO, that might have been like
YA dystopia,
like
Star Wars.
No, because then I think they used it again for Tuig Maggie.
This is the spin for the deep cut wheel.
There's a different format, right? Or different thing that.
And it lands on Disney live action. So Dom, do you want to?
And this was one of the movies that we actually knew what was going to be on the wheel.
I would advise you to spin again.
Really?
That's right. Because
see, it's funny that you mentioned that.
We'll talk about this.
Because this is actually the category that we had revealed, and I just rewatched this movie last night. So
okay, if you feel confident in it, go ahead.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm confident. I literally just rewatched the movie last night. I'm
so,
good.
Okay, just know Thomas also knows what the movie is, so he also studied it really aggressively.
I am aware.
Okay, so Dominic is ahead at this point. He literally just watched the match the night before. Of course, you fucking take it. That's not. It doesn't matter if the opponent watched it. It's like if you think you can go perfect, that just cracked me up. Where he was like, I think we should spin again. And that's basically
well
that's 30 seconds
so
encapsulate this match.
Some of the other choices would have been interesting, and we'll share them with you after the call, guys. But
oh yeah, the other movies in this match were nuts. Were nuts.
Tron Legacy. So, you guys are.
It's the original Tron, right?
5 questions.
No, Tron Legacy.
Oh, it's Tron Legacy. Oh.
And I will ask the first question. Are you guys ready? Again, 2 points apiece on these.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay. Your first question in Tron Legacy. What year does the film open?
We can talk again.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching this movie for the writing of these questions. I hadn't seen it since
I like
years,
this
and I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Fun fact, though, those are not my cups I'm drinking out of. They were my roommates, which they left behind.
Did you know?
No, they left it behind in the old dorm last semester, and then I took them for myself.
I mean that makes sense.
Give him the next question.
Your next question, rather simple. What is the name of Sam's dog?
I'm sorry, buddy.
If you get a dog tomorrow, what do you name it? And don't make it the answer of the question.
Yeah, this is good. Like they used to play this on Channel Go a lot on like Saturday nights, and this like 9:30 Saturday night. Just chuck this on.
Saturday, Sunday, they would always play movies on channels like those.
Yeah.
Marv.
And Dom.
I put Biscuit.
Marv is correct, so that ties the game at 20 points as we get into the next question in Tron Legacy.
I mean, the fact that it went from a 6-point deficit
in
to
the
now
game,
being tied is
what
like
do
crazy.
programs call humans in the game?
I actually think I know this one. Users, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I have not watched Tron Legacy since before this match.
Tied in round 4. We are definitely.
I mean, you had to take notes and shit for it, so it makes sense.
4, 3, 2.
I'll probably watch it again
1,
sometime next year or something.
Start with Dom.
Users.
Oh.
And Scully.
Users.
Both are correct.
Scared there?
All right, your next question. Cora loses what body part during a fight at Caster's Club?
These were also back when deep cuts weren't exactly like super deep. They were like borderline plot / deep.
You just
I
watched
guess-
the movie once, and you
because-
can get it.
4,
You
3.
didn't know the movie, so they had to
One
make it
pens
somewhat
down. We will
reasonable.
start with Scully
Which one is it?
and Dom.
I just put her arm. I didn't know how specific you wanted it.
We just had arms, so we can accept both those answers. Okay.
So, last question.
So,
yeah.
your final question in Tron Legacy. There is a billboard of what on top of Flynn's arcade?
This is like the one.
This is where I
Tron
actually I talk myself out of the right answer because again I thought it was gonna be a lot more complicated.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even remember this detail.
Deep cut. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We will start with Dom.
It's the Tron video game.
And Scully.
I said space agitators.
Tron, the video game, is what we were looking for. So
I have
Dom
no idea
does
where I
get
got
that
space
incorrect.
agitators from. I'll be
What
completely
the
honest.
fuck is that?
Now the score is 26 to 24. Nick, what they lost in the last round, they definitely made up for in this one. They both knew their Tron legacy. Let's move on to the final round of today's title match, which is our betting round. It is our normal round 3, but it is now round 5 because we are in a title match. So you guys
Yeah,
can
it's just round
choose whether
3.
you want to bet 0, 1, or 2 points on the question once I reveal the category to you. If you get the question right, you win those points. If you get the question wrong, you lose those points. Again, Dom is in the lead with
I mean, I think the thing
26,
about
Scully's
fandom,
24.
the final
So
round
it
in
is a very
fandom,
close
is that
game.
even with a 2-point
The
deficit
first
like this, like
category that
you must be
guys will
still
able to bet
feeling
points
fine,
on
right?
tonight is
Yeah, I mean I'm
180.
feeling fine. I know that with Rizzi everything can change like this, so I'm cautiously optimistic.
Okay, I will
So
dictate.
how-
Okay, never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead. Right.
Okay.
What do you think,
so
Let him speak.
I'm thinking because you're in the lead and this is one of your rougher categories.
Yeah,
I'd say,
I know what to do here. I know what to do here.
That's
Okay.
words that
He didn't even
every
finish.
manager
Yeah.
coach chill.
Yeah,
Dominic saying, "I know what to
it's
do here."
certainly on the lower scale. I'm thinking we do.
Just ask Adelaide Spence. They still have nightmares.
I would say maybe more towards 1. I still trust you enough to hit this.
Then,
Coho's drinking a
1 or
cup
2.
with my nickname on it too. If you've watched
All right,
closely.
we're both good with our managers.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we will start with Dom. How many?
This
points
is
do you
definitely up there as far as like just the worst managing.
0.
No
Okay.
offense, Eli.
And Scully.
I'm gonna go 1. I'm gonna grab a new pen too.
What was the category?
Okay, that's fine. We'll wait to ask the question.
All right. Here we go.
What was the category?
Guys, your
I
question
forget.
is,
Why dystopia?
in Allegiant,
Okay, why?
who kills Tori?
Oh fuck.
At this point, I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen Allegiant. I just I hadn't seen Allegiant.
I marathoned them this
As
year.
Mando would
So as soon as I heard Allegiant, I went, "Fuck."
5,
Well, as you
4,
if it's a
3,
character from the previous
2,
movies, so at least you
1.
can maybe
Pens
get-
down. We'll start with Dom for stats
I put Peter.
and Scully.
4.
It's incorrect. Both incorrect. The answer we were
Yes.
looking for was Edgar. All right. So Scully
Edgar
does lose the
Allan
point.
Poe.
Gets his total down to.
So that
Of course, that's when
23.
Holtzman
We get
showed
into the
up.
next
The answer was
category
Edgar.
that you guys are able to bet points on, and that category is quotes.
Caleb, you may go first.
Oh, I may. Oh, thank you. Okay.
First last.
What?
So yes.
This can go
Oh,
any
man.
number of ways.
God damn.
Down 3. Go for it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Dom, I would say again, you're in the position of power right now, and quotes is again, maybe not your strongest. So I think you be safe. Be safe than sorry.
Got it.
What?
Got it.
Over there, isn't there?
All right, yikes. Okay, so we will start with Scully. How many points are you betting?
1.
Okay, and Dom.
0.
Okay, Nick, give them their question in quotes.
Gladly. In what DC film will you hear a son say the following quote to his father? If I rob Mulligan's pharmacy, are you going to ground me if I don't give you a piece of the action?
Is that Road Petition?
Road of Perdition.
I agree.
This is a great match. This has turned out to be a great match.
Actually, it wasn't a power outage. There was no lighting in that room. The only light that was in that room was from that desk light. There was no overhead lighting.
And Scully.
Wow. Said road to perdition.
Both unfortunately incorrect.
shit.
The answer we were looking for was a history of violence.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Wow. The other series.
That's the other one.
Yes. All right, guys. Scully does lose another point, brings the total down to
I said
2.
Road Petition because Mulligan sounded like Sullivan.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we move on to the next category that you guys can bet points on, and it is going to be Star Trek.
You know what to do at this point.
Yeah. Thanks, Holtzman. Thanks.
New strength when I play Scully and Fan, it's going to be Road Petition quotes.
Road of Edition.
Yeah. I mean, at this
Well,
point.
How's Kerry Washington doing, Holtzman?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good, managers?
Yep.
Okay. Dom, we will start with you. How many points are you betting?
0.
Okay, and Scully.
Okay, so if you miss this, the game is over. Or
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Dominic, it's never over.
What is the name
essentially,
of Shinzon's heavily
never
armed
over.
flagship in Star Trek Nemesis?
Tim, the other day.
Doesn't he
I was
know
walking
this
up
one?
the Stairs. I tripped.
I think he
banged my
does.
shins on-
But like,
I mean, but
it
this
took
question
me-
and then the next question, he knows
Was
the
it
answers.
Chick-fil-A? Okay.
like the scimitar popped into my head, but then I was so unsure of it.
Oh,
I
give you
contemplated writing down something else.
that. 4, 3.
Repeat the question.
All right, Scully using his final repeat, again, the category of Star Trek. What is the name of Shinzon's heavily armed flagship in Star Trek Nemesis?
So yeah.
Have you ever
repeats.
seen
Wow.
Star Trek?
Was that
Like,
was that a conscious choice where it's like, this is it, I have to like?
Yeah, it was like, this is the best guess I have.
Those are the
Don't
ones
second
with
guess
the
it.
laser
Just
swords.
go for it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We will start with Dom for stats.
I put the Praetorian Guard, knowing full well that's incorrect.
That
Wait,
is
so they didn't
incorrect.
have-
And Scully, we will move on to you.
Said the scimitar.
That is correct for 1 point. All right, gets his total back up to 23 as we get into the fourth.
In hindsight, there
in this
probably should have went
category- in
2
this round,
because
which is the
Probably, but
category
again,
it
I-
wouldn't have
Star
mattered
Trek
if
was-
you missed
Star
it
Trek
on one
was my
or-
weakest, and I mean my weakest
Yeah,
geek
that's what I was gonna
category
say, go
by
for it,
far.
I just mean like
Yeah,
scoring
yeah,
wise,
real
like
life.
you're on 22. If
Okay,
you miss it with
since
1
he's betting
point,
2, and I know
you're
for a
Yeah.
fact that
over
you
anyway.
bond pretty
So you
well,
might as well just go
I
for
say-
2.
Yeah, but at that point, I knew
Actually,
that
no,
he was going to
I'm
bet
gonna
0
stay
either way,
safe,
regardless.
sorry.
So
You had a chance, and also it was only the third question.
What was that? Sorry, you cut out there. I
Fourth
couldn't
and
hear you.
fifth.
I say safe than sorry. Safe than
All
sorry.
right, got it.
Okay. So
Does he bet at
we will
all?
start with Scully. How many points are you betting on James?
no,
2.
2. And Dom, how many points are you betting?
0.
Because he definitely doesn't bet the
Okay.
last question.
I
'Cause at
mean,
this
he
point,
should
I'm
have
like-
won. That's
at-
the thing. He should have just
at this
He
bet
does
point,
it, actually.
in my head, I'm like, now we go. We bet everything we can and hope to God he bets 0.
At the start of Goldfinger. I was on vacation once.
I remember those times.
This is true.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Pens down. We will start with Dom for stats.
I didn't have it.
Oh,
Okay, and Scully.
Miami.
Miami is correct for 2 points.
Is that about Goldfinger?
We are on
That's
to the
Goldfinger.
final
Okay.
question. Dom is up 1 point with 26 to Scully's 25 as we get into the final category of the final question, and that category is Worlds of DC.
so how'd you feel with Worlds of DC being the final
Now,
category?
here's the question.
I
that
felt
I'm
pretty
asking
confident
you right
at that
now.
point.
Yeah.
Do you have a
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
going to Sun and Death?
And I knew like I had no
No,
choice.
I don't.
I was gonna bet 2 no matter what.
Okay, so
Yeah,
if you
of
don't have a
course.
problem going to Sun and Death, then bet 1.
Yeah.
Just go sudden
Right.
death. You'll win easily there.
Because you know it's going to be something from like Aquaman or Shazam or something.
There's
like that.
no
Or even Harley Quinn.
reason
gonna
for
be
betting 1 here.
Yep.
It's you can see like
Oh my
Tim and Nico sort of like,
God.
are they really doing
What
this?
the
Like,
fuck? Oh my god.
Sorry, Cody. Never mind. Go ahead.
I do when you.
I
have
bet you
to,
Cody's
can just win the
backstage.
match.
I'm good.
Everyone except for me
You guys
is
go
like
first. I'm sorry,
so
I didn't-
confused,
Yeah,
and
well,
I'm mainly concerned with I have to
All
hit
right,
this
so
fucking
we will
question.
Start with
Yeah.
Dom.
1.
like
Oh my
what
God.
is
Scully.
the problem with going 2 of
Two.
Okay, Nick, here's the rub. They both hit this. We are
That's the
tied.
funny thing is that it's gonna be Aquaman or
I
Shazam.
don't know if that's ever happened in a title match, but it has not. If they both miss, then I believe we have Dom as the champion still. So this will
What
be
happened
interesting.
if
There's a
he had
bunch of
betten
different
2?
things that could happen.
Yeah.
Let's get
Meanwhile,
into the
Birds of
question
Prey
again.
wasn't even
Worlds of
eligible yet, I
DC.
think.
Guys, your question is:
Yeah, I didn't think it was at the
Who
where
played-
it was.
Colonel Nathan Hardy in Man of Steel?
The fact that he knows this as well is just like, just if that one was a 2, man, things would have been very different.
So tense.
I am tense as well. I finally understand how
Defending
Robert feels when
champion.
someone's like, it's probably from
Dominic
this movie
Rizzi.
or that movie, and then I'm like, Man of Steel, motherfucker.
I was so happy because like Man of Steel is just one of those movies I know way too much about.
3,
I was so
Yeah.
happy.
2,
Are you a defender
1,
of Man of
hands
Steel?
down, and
It's a
we
four.
are
It's
going to
I
start
I have it at
with
4.5
Scully
stars.
Yeah.
Christopher Maloney.
and Dom.
I shortened it. I put Chris Maloney.
We can accept both those answers, and we are going to sudden.
That's what his
death.
friends call him.
Yes. Yes, it
my.
is wholesome.
I am sweating.
Detective
Maggie
Stable.
is red. It is an interesting time.
Also in
here
the Harold
Fandom
Kumar.
Fights. Okay, first time we've ever gone to sudden death.
Freak show.
It's not.
All the
Here's the thing. It's not that
questions
easy
mixed
'cause it's like
bag.
the
You won't know where they're
8th or
from.
like
Who,
7th or
what
8th build
kind
guy in Man of
Okay,
Steel.
It's not like Harry
so,
Lennox
the
or
first
something.
person to hit
Yeah.
while the other misses is the champion. Do we understand?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Your first question
I hate when people do
is a
that.
mixed bag. Andrew Adamson directed Shrek, Shrek 2, and what? 2 Disney live-action films.
The second he said that, I knew I won because it's both Narnia films, and I knew Rizzi was not going to get them.
It's like either you know that or you're not going to just randomly guess both Narnia.
Yeah, how do you
films.
guess just the
Yeah.
2 Narnia films? That's what an interesting career to go from 2 Shreks to 2 Narnias.
Can I get a repeat there?
Dom using his second repeat.
And Dom saved me because I
Andrew
hadn't
Adamson
finished writing
directed
Prince Caspian
Shrek,
yet.
Yeah.
Shrek 2, and what?
I mean, those are long
2
titles as well.
Disney
You think they would have
live-action
given at least a bit more time.
Cool, because I wrote out. Well, no, it's not that I would have missed it. It's that I would have run out of time
You could cut
in
the
writing it.
connection.
Because at that point I had Narnia, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, like Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then I put Chronicles, Narnia, : and then he goes read him like, thank God, and then I write Prince Caspian.
1. Hands down, we will start with Scully.
Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian.
Dom.
Congrats, Tom. Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian, and Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
And
What-
your winner
Weird
and
second guess.
new fandom singles champion of the world is Thomas, the Warhawk Scully.
That's brutal way.
With a final
He had one of the
score
Narnias.
Yeah,
I
wow.
don't even
That's actually
fucking
closer
know.
than I thought. Like the fact that he was
28.
halfway there.
What
But
a
Rizzi
match.
knows it because he rated the score.
What
He had
a
the score.
match.
Yeah.
He's got the score
Oh,
there,
I'm
Tim.
sorry, I just took out
Yeah.
Nick. That's not what I meant to do, Nick.
No,
How are you
Oh.
feeling about the match overall?
I am whoever won this match deserves to be the champion. Let me tell you that.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We both played bad. We both played bad too. I love you, but stop it.
I'm overall very impressed by both of these performances tonight. Let's move to our champion first. Scully, how you feeling?
Never forget.
I want to thank Andrew Adamson for making those two movies that I so dearly love. But first of all, I want to give credit to Dom. He came out firing on all cylinders tonight. Had great steal in round two. Really,
that's how you know game. Someone who watches like ESPN sports. They say all cylinders because that's what I do as well. Like no one else just says that unless you like watch sports.
Yeah. And then betting round,
seriously, he's like fucking buff.
And yeah, it's just a great match all around. And oh boy, it's I did not play my best tonight. I will fully admit that. But
he's like in a daze.
Nevertheless,
he's like fucking.
Coho, you are now for the first time ever managing the singles champion, because this is the third. You're the third. Scully, you're the third person to hold this title. Coho, how does it feel? How did you feel about your managing style tonight?
I think me and Scully played it just about as close
Shout
as we could. We followed the plan. I got really nervous at the beginning of round 5 when the first two categories came up. I could feel myself starting to lose a little bit of hope there for a second, and then we got Star Trek. I'm like, all right, just keep chipping away, and it worked. It worked out.
And then Carl asked Scully if he was okay going sudden death.
This guy works so hard, and just it's been one of the greatest honors of my managing career. And to be here with you getting that belt is huge, man. This is it feels so good.
One last thing that I'll say before we move on to the next person. Scully, you are officially the second person in history as well to hold both titles.
Because I'm pretty sure at this point
the team's title and the singles title. How does that feel?
Bartman was
good, but I know that,
the singles.
I'm not taking any shots.
No, he did not win. He did not beat Jake until like a month later, I think.
I was gonna say it's just because the release
schedule. Actually, yes.
But I will cherish this.
When the timing in real life didn't really work out, but like in the release schedule, like of sort of canon,
until somebody puts an
actually for like 3 days.
So
Bartman was singles champion and Phantom Teams champion. And Scully was singles and Phantom Teams champion.
Guys later.
Yeah.
But let's move over to our unfortunate loser today, Dominic. Rizzi, guys.
It's an elite.
How are you guys feeling? Rizzi, you were in it the whole time. It came down to 1 point. How do you feel overall about your performance?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that this is a disappointing loss at all. Like,
I mean, you can't.
Fought my hardest. Tom fought his hardest. Like I said, for a lot of this game, it seemed like it was going in one direction.
They mentioned this at the start of the
one question, and it's something that I have been notorious for my whole career during trivia, is where I can play a great game, I can play a shitty game, but it will literally come down to the last question. And it just so happened that I was really pissed because, again, it's a matter of, I'm not going to I hate to pull that Fast and Furious thing where it's like, oh, it doesn't matter how you win, but it's like, if I had gone with my gut and gone with those first 2 Chronicles of Narnia movies, or if I had just bet 2 with the DC, but we weren't sure about it because we had a feel that you guys were going to go with something more obscure and recent, and then you pulled a Man of Steel.
Literally, the DC
is recent. Artist. He absolutely deserves this. He's a great player.
At this point, it's like has been active for like 7 years. Like,
and I was able to hold the belt at all during this.
There's like 8 movies.
Eli,
the first one, first of the fucking
tonight.
universe.
How do you feel about your performance?
That's hilarious.
I feel like I assisted Dominic exactly the way he needed to be. There, round 4, I questioned him when I think he needed to be questioned, and it turned out I might have been a little bit wrong because he knew Tron Legacy. He did know a lot of Tron Legacy, but putting up the question,
just a little bit.
Are you sure you want to go this way? Because Thomas also saw the movie and studied it hard. I think that was a valid question to ask him. And then when it came to the World of DC question, I made sure, I'm like, okay, are you sure? Do you want to risk everything or be smart about this? I wanted him to be smart. I wanted him to know that you need to be smart when playing the game, and I think he did that. I think he played really smart and
I mean, I agree. You do have to be smart, but I mean,
Awesome. Okay, well,
It's
guys,
just
unfortunately,
hilarious that like
you guys
they've had all that time to
lose
think
the
about it. He
title
just
tonight,
hasn't
but you did
clicked
play
that
a hell of a
it
game.
legit would not have
like we
mattered.
said, down to the last
The
question.
only
getting
way
into
Ray
round
would,
one,
really would
game
have mattered
two,
is
getting
if
some great
Scully
skills.
did like a fast one and
Overall,
was like,
great
aha,
performance.
actually bet zero.
It was
So
great
that
having
way,
you guys here tonight, and
but
we
like,
will
yeah.
be seeing you back
Yeah.
in the singles tournament, which is coming up starting in 2 weeks. So we will see you guys then for sure.
Which,
So
his match against
playing
Koho,
tonight, we'll
that's
see you
that's
guys
one we have
very
to have
soon.
Koho on
Nick,
for.
Oh yeah,
any
that's an
closing
all-time
thoughts as we
classic.
wrap up this baby?
I mean, that
We did
one
this in
fan
under an
match of the
hour.
year last
Look
year.
at us go.
Look at us. We are clearly the best on it. No, I'm just kidding. Scully, you did great. Dom, you did amazing. That was a pleasure to be a part of. Everyone should be looking out for Dom in that singles tournament, and whoever wins that singles tournament should be looking out for who they got to play now for the man holding the belt. So
100%.
Weird way of talking about yourself too.
Whoever does make it to the end of that singles tournament, will we see another Rizzi Scully match? Will we see someone new jump into the ring? Who knows? It'll be really interesting. Will Jim Green take the whole cake and challenge Scully at the end of this? Who knows? It's anybody's game at this point. But awesome match altogether. Thank you, Nick, for being a part of it with me. Thanks for helping me write this thing. Can't wait to share the deep cuts with everybody after we get off this.
Yeah, this is when Nick hadn't really,
again,
I guess, joined
that
as a full-time
was
writer. Like,
Eli and Dom. That is new
helping
champion
out.
Thomas Scully with Caleb Coho. That was Nick Tuig. I have been Tim Bercala. Thank you guys so much for watching.
all right.
All right, there we go. So
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
history was made. Crazy shit happened. I
Yep.
mean,
And then I went and studied for a final. It was great.
Was it like right after the call was over? It was like, okay, this is fucking awesome, but I really gotta fucking study now.
I think we did like a celebratory call afterwards, and then I studied for a bit before going to bed.
Yeah, I mean, feel like you would have had to have at least celebrated a bit. Like,
Yeah.
even just have a drink, just a glass of whiskey, and just like.
You think I had access to alcohol in a student dorm during quarantine? That's funny.
We're not all alcoholics like you, Jake. We don't just
That's
have
true. Yeah,
whiskey
you
and,
know. Sorry, I made an
cupboards.
assumption and it was wrong. But yeah, no, crazy shit, man. Crazy shit that happened. It's one of the best by far fandom matches.
Yeah.
It's just I love matches where just anything can happen like that, where you think it's going one way and then the point deficit is just something you just don't think you can climb, and then bang. And then also the stupidest decision ever made by any manager and player in that final round, which will be beloved, and we love it, and it's just
That whole match is just it's just a comedy of errors. It's a comedy of errors that led to my second belt.
We should honestly have a thesis statement about why Rizzi just fucks up and is bad at strategy. Like, we could just make it when we do episode 100 or whatever. It'll be just us going through every Rizzi like strategic mistake he's made, and just like, okay, this is what he did wrong. Why the fuck did he do this? And just going through it all, because
it's like. I feel like this is more an Eli for this one than Rizzi. Just he was actually listening to his manager, and but I mean, if you get asked the question, are you okay with going to sudden death? I just feel like you should answer no instinctively. But okay, whatever.
Did he just think that? Oh yeah, I'm gonna easily beat Scully in sudden death. Like, oh, this guy's a fucking joke. I'm gonna sudden death. Yeah, that's my fucking like.
Betting on yourself like that when you can't even bet on categories correctly, probably isn't the best thing to do.
Yes, but I think Rizzi going Rizzi is Well, let's never forget when Coho did manage Rizzi. Like, that's one of the greatest combos ever. But,
I once beat Rizzi when he was managed by Coho in Full Metal Geek, so never forget that.
That's interesting. Wow. That would have been true. But I just before we sign off, I gotta say, do you remember when we played?
Yes, my first ever Geek match. It was nuts.
Yes, and I can't believe I almost won that match.
Yeah, because
I'm glad I didn't.
I don't think I prepped at all. I don't think I prepped at all for that.
Yeah.
It was like a spur of the moment thing.
the interesting thing about that match is that's the first one I can remember recording on StreamYard. Because that was like right after I got back from holidays. Google Hangouts had just like died or something like that, and
from Bali,
I just remember like seeing Parasite before everyone, and then just going back into it and like, oh shit, StreamYard, this is cool. And I always loved the format of StreamYard. So, but I just remember that match going like shit. Luckily, I mean, I almost won only because I got Marvel in round 2, and that's my go-to category. So
that's fair.
A little bit of luck in there, but I just remember that going, man, this guy's pretty good. And then you go on and win the tournament,
and the rest is history.
But this is awesome. Thank you so much, Scully, for
absolutely
this match. You know, it's
great being here.
One of the big wins of your entire career. I
just the one. The one.
Yeah, just the one.
That's the one. Yeah,
nothing else.
No. I mean, we would be happy to have you on if we wanted to go through any other match.
Absolutely, yeah.
I feel like it just ends in heartbreak. Every other singles match.
Every other one, yes. It's either domination or heartbreak. If there's like no in between.
What's this fight?
Yeah. Shut up.
I mean, that would have been great. But,
I mean, look who Fringe was playing.
But honestly, this has been great. Thank you so much, Scully. As far
thanks
as
everyone watching.
It was weird. It kind of like spiked up in the last.
Well, I think because Wireless probably ended.
Wireless just finished, and so everyone's like, "Oh,
probably
see this." Probably my bad decision on getting this done on recording at the same time as Wireless, but
it's bloody not even a real episode. So yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
fuck them.
But next episode, I don't know. We haven't actually really discussed this, but
it's December. It's Christmas.
It's December. It's gonna be hard to schedule people.
Out. Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. But I will say it was the whole time. So thank you, everyone. I'll talk to you about it, Michael, after this episode. Who I think we should get on. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Tuig, Holtzman, Adelaide. I think there was someone else who kind of came in for a bit. So no, I think that was mainly just them, right? Yeah. But thank you everyone for watching. This will be on YouTube in a couple of days. And I don't know how really to end these episodes, so I'm just gonna say, do you want to win or do you want to go to sun?